Hello and welcome back to Cutie Girl Crochet. Today we are going to be making this butterfly stitch baby hat. Baby, toddler, these are great little hats for kids and babies. Here's one that's a little bit smaller. They have different style brims. I am going to be probably doing this little bit thicker brim, but I'll show you how to do the other ones as well. And I'll also be showing you how to make these cute little flowers. I just think that the flowers on the hats are really cute. The stitches that you'll need to know are chain and double crochet and single crochet, and then the butterfly stitch. And I will do a quick tutorial on the butterfly stitch, but if you can know it ahead of time, that would be fantastic. So here's a few samples here. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, but you can make them any size. You can even make these for adults. So this is my version of these cute little hats, and I always put a little button in the center, and I would say that this is an intermediate pattern. So what you need, here I wanted to show you, here's another version. This is a different version that I'll be doing. This is not the butterfly stitch, this is a different stitch. But this is a little beret, well, it's a little flatter, but it's cute nonetheless. This one's it's just got a different stitch. The brim is still the same, but here's another one here. So this will be another tutorial because it's a completely different stitch. Same idea, just a completely different stitch. So here's one done in purple. So I am going to be using two different yarns. You can use any worsted weight yarn. I'm going to be using Impeccable is the one color, and Red Heart Soft. This will be for the main part of the hat. You can use any yarn like that, Impeccable, or I've used Simply Soft. Simply Soft works, or I mean not Simply Soft, but yeah, Simply Soft. I've used that. That works really good. And I've got this big, gigantic thing, of Impeccable because I use a lot. I love Impeccable yarn, so I use it for a lot of things. And so what you'll need is you will need a size H hook. Yeah, you will need a weaving needle of your choice. I don't know if you've ever used these weaving shuttles. I've only found them at Hobby Lobby, but you can probably order them online, or I don't know where else they might have them. But the ones that I have are Susan Bates, and you just kind of put the yarn right in there, and it's a shuttle, and so you can weave in the smallest little end. If you accidentally cut an end too short, they are amazing. And but I like to use these. I do have a smaller head yarn needle to go through smaller buttons, but I'm going to use this one, and a pair of scissors. So gather your materials, get yourself a cup of coffee or a beverage of your choice, and we'll get started. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with a slip stitch, however you want to do a slip stitch. And then we are going to chain 4. This is making the brim. We're starting with the brim. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to double crochet in that very first chain right there. I'm going to move my stuff out of the way here so you can see a little better. There we go. So in that very first chain, we're just going to double crochet, and this makes what I call a segment, and that's what gives us the scalloped edge of the brim. And for a newborn, you are going to make approximately, depending on how tight or how loose you crochet, you're going to do approximately 12, I would say 11 to 13 segments. This one is, the way I crochet, this one is 13 segments, and it's pretty good for a newborn. I think that's a good newborn size. But it all depends on how you crochet. You can really just eyeball it. You can look up head measurements for children, infants and children on the internet. I don't have that list with me right now, but usually what I do is for infants, I do 12 or 13. For 6 months to a year, I would do 14, and then it just goes up from there. It kind of goes up a segment from there. So now what we're going to do, we'll do 12. So let's do another segment. So we've chained 4, yarn over, and in that first chain that we did next to that segment, we're going to double crochet. Alright, there's 2, chain 4, double crochet, chain 4, double crochet, chain 4, double crochet, you can work these up in about an hour from start to finish. It depends on, of course, it depends on how fast you crochet. I can crochet pretty fast, so I can work one of these babies up in no time. I'm sorry if my camera's going in and out of focus. I still haven't figured out why it does that. Probably lighting, or probably because it's an old camera and I'm rolling old school. I need to get high tech here one of these days. I've done these both ways. How many segments do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I did too many. Okay, so I've got my 12 segments. And now what I'm going to do is you take your hook out. Sorry for the camera, I'm so sorry. Take the hook out. I'll go slower so the camera can keep up with me. Insert your hook into the first chain that you did, or the top of your double crochet. Pull it back through this, your loop that you just pulled your hook out of, and pull it through to make your circle. And then yarn over. And chain 1. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 single crochet in each segment. And how we're going to do that is there's a loop at the top right next to the the hook that you just did. The chain that you just did, sorry, and do 1 single crochet. Now there's another stitch right here on the left hand side of our segment, and in that stitch we're going to do 2 single crochets. Alright, now in the next segment there's that top stitch right there, 1 single crochet, and in that next top stitch 2 single crochets, and we're going to do that all the way around. And this adds a nice little decorative element to the hat. And then 2 single crochets. It's been a while since I've made a video, so I'm kind of all tongue-tied today. but I'll get through it. And so will you. Just keep laughing at me, because that's what I do. I just keep laughing. Like I said, these are really fast, quick projects, really good money makers. Like I've said in previous videos, I love fast, simple, profitable projects to do. Because I do like to make money doing this. Oh, I don't know what is with the camera. I am so sorry. I think maybe I'm going too fast. Maybe I'll go slower and it'll keep up with me. I've tried different kinds of lighting for the camera. I've tried moving the camera and I've got it panned out a little bit today. Or zoomed out, I mean. Alright, we've just done our last two, and now right there on that top, the top of the single crochet that we did, we're going to put it through those, put the hook through those two loops, yarn over, and then slip stitch to complete the ring. Now, don't be concerned that it's little itty bitty. I mean, it really is little itty bitty. Look at how big this stretches. So you just don't be concerned about that. If you're using a kind of a more flexible yarn, like a soft yarn or a Simply Soft or something, it will stretch. So you just don't worry about that. And if it's too sloppy or too big, take a segment out or something. I mean, just eyeball it. Just I don't do too much math. I'm an eyeballer, so I just kind of say, okay, well, the baby's head's about this big, and I'll do 12 segments, or it's a little bit bigger, it's a 6-month-old, or it's a year older, it's a 2-year-old, or 5-year-old, or whatever. So just, you can figure it out. So now we're going to chain one, and in the first space from the hook, we're going to single crochet, and then we're going to skip the next single crochet and do 2 single crochet in the next space. Skip the next one, 2 single crochet in the next space, skip, 2 single crochet, skip, 2 single crochet, and do this all the way around the edge. Or, yeah, all the way around. Sometimes I think maybe dust or something flies past the camera lens and it, I don't know, tries to focus on it or something. I don't know why it does that. But for the sake of getting the tutorial out there, we're just gonna have to work with the autofocus freaking out. And we're still skipping a stitch and 2 single crochet. We're almost coming to the end of our row. Okay. And now once again, actually, this is where we're going to switch yarn colors. So you want to stop here. We're not going to join with a slip stitch yet. We're going to stop here. And like I said, it's going to be small, but don't worry about it because it stretches quite a bit. Okay? So don't worry about that. All right, I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to cut that. And I'm a long tail lever just because I just am. I don't like to leave short tails. And then I'm going to start with this is Red Heart Soft in Rose Blush. If anybody wants to know, the impeccable yarn is called Aran. A-R-A-N. It's the big Momo. The big Mondo. Holy crap, that's a lot of yarn. Ball. Skein. So now what we want to do is insert our hook under those 2 stitches of the top of that single crochet that we did, and then pull a loop through. You don't have to make a slip stitch or anything, just wrap your yarn around and pull it through, and then pull it through your other loop. Pull your ends tight, and then let the ends fall down, and chain 1. Now we're going to start our butterfly stitch. And the butterfly stitch does a modified single crochet. It's actually kind of a chain and then a double crochet. So in this first stitch from where we just joined the yarn, we're going to insert our hook and we're going to chain 1 just through that first loop. Now we've got 2 loops still on the hook. Now in the next single crochet space, we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, sort of like a double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1. Do not forget to chain 1 after each segment. Okay, we're going to do that again. In the next single crochet space, we're going to insert our hook and do a chain, insert our hook into the next single crochet space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and then do a double crochet, and then chain 1. Alright, again, insert your hook, pull up a loop, do a chain, insert your hook, pull up a loop, double crochet. Alright, and that is the starting foundation row for your butterfly stitch. Alright, and then just do this all the way around. Insert your hook, chain 1, insert your hook, double crochet, chain 1, insert your hook, chain 1, insert your hook, double crochet, and you're just going all along the edge. If you want to make more of a beret style or a, I don't know, more of a mushroomed style, what you would do is you would, every other stitch, you would do this butterfly stitch in the same single crochet. I'm going to do a little example here. So I just did one that took up 2 spaces here. The next one I would just do in 1 space. I would yarn over, and then in that same exact space I would make one, and you would just do that every other one. That gives you more butterfly stitches per row, and that's if you want to make it more. I've got a couple here that are done like that, that are more well, maybe no, not that one, but that are more, this one is straight, that are more mushroomy, like this one. This one's a little bit more mushroomy shaped because I did that. I kind of did that method. Alright, so continuing on, making butterfly stitches. Actually, this is the foundation row for the butterfly stitches. So it's nighttime here right now in Tacoma, Washington. It rained this morning. It was so nice. It's kind of warmer, but it was raining, and I love the rain. I love to listen to it. I kind of, if it's not too blustery, I'll open the door and listen to it. It's just very calming to me. But it's been sunny and kind of partly cloudy this afternoon, so it's been a nice day. I did some outdoor things, some yard cleanup and things of that sort. Trying to keep the house maintained. Alright, we are coming to the end of our row here. Now what we want to do, we are not going to join in anywhere. Where we joined here for the brim, what we're going to do is we're just going to crawl right up this edge. And to do the butterfly stitch, we're going to be doing a kind of a spiral all the way up to the top. So for the next stitch, you just kind of just really eyeball it. Just you're going to crawl right up the side here. So I will insert my hook there, maybe in my beginning slip stitch. Now that you've kind of crawled up that side, it gets really easy from here. Now you will see this when you pull the two stitches apart, there's a little line right in the middle. See that little line right there? What we're going to do is we're going to put our first chain one in that side, and then we're going to put our double crochet on the other side right there. And it's kind of like butterfly wings. I think that's probably how it gets its name. So again, you can see the little line right in the middle. We're going to insert our hook and do the slip stitch in that one, and then the double crochet in that one. And then we're going to do this all the way around, and we're just going to keep going around and around and around just like this until we get the hat the length or height, I guess, that we want. You can see it's pretty stretchy and forgiving. This one, this is for a newborn. This is a newborn size. Maybe when I do the other hat, I'll do it for a toddler or or an older child. So if you can, anytime you can, if you get confused, you can stop and go back over how to do the butterfly stitch, but it's pretty simple. You just chain one and then double crochet. Chain one, you always kind of want to leave one stitch on the hook, and then double crochet. Once you get rolling, it's really a nice stitch. It gives your item a really nice look. It makes great adult hats. Melodora Creations, she does a lot of butterfly stitch hats, and hers are gorgeous. She does really beautiful work, and so I think she has a tutorial, so you can hop on over to her page too and see her stuff. Alright, I am going to continue on until I get the height that I want. And you continue on. You keep wanting to double crochet until you get the height that you want. And then we will work on closing up the hole at the top. Okay? Okay, I'm getting close to the top of where I want. I'm going to do a few more rows. One thing I forgot to mention, since we're working in the round, our row doesn't stop where we started. Our row will actually stop diagonally. So for every row, however many rows you have, it will go over one stitch. So I have, because remember we crawled up here, so for example, right in this section right here is where we started. Right now this row has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the next row has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so you can use a bobby pin or a stitch marker or whatever, and every time you go around, just move your stitch marker over one, because it goes over however many rows. How many did I have here? 1, 2, 3, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from where I started, 1, 2, 3, where am I? I don't know where I'm at here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my row will actually stop over here somewhere, because it just keeps, to keep it kind of level on the top from where we start. So I'm going to do a couple more rows, and then we'll close up that hole. And I'll show you again where to stop your row when we get around there. I like the texture and the look of these hats. I actually call this the Emma hat, and the other ones that I did I called Pearl, the Pearl hat. So that's probably, if I ever write up a pattern for these, that's what I will call them. And like I said, you can do these for all ages. You can even do them all the way up to adults. Oh, while we were on our break, I did look up head sizes for babies, and it says for preemies are 12.5, and the range is 10 inch to 13 inch. For newborn, it's the standard is 13.5, but it ranges from 12.5 to 14 3/4 or so. and so on. It just kind of goes up from there. So this hat is a little small with 12 segments, but like I said, it's stretchy, so it'll fit a newborn easily. I got my ruler out, and it's like 6.5, so that would be 13 inches, which is within the range. So so you're good there. But I like the bumpiness of this, and the texture to it is just a fun decorative thing. And it's, once you get rolling on the pattern, it's a very, very easy, mindless pattern to do. Quick little last minute gifts. This is great coupled with the little crocodile stitch baby booties that I did. Make a little gift set. I am going to teach a baby blanket, baby Afghan tutorial made out of the same stitch that I did the other hats in, not this butterfly stitch, but I don't even know what the stitch is. I got the stitch decades ago on a label for baby yarn, and it was the simplest stitch that I have ever done, and I use it for everything. I have made countless Afghans out of it, and countless just things out of that stitch. It is my go-to, use it for everything stitch. And the stitch is actually really simple, and I've said it in previous videos. It's just 2 double crochet, chain 2, single crochet, all in the same space. It's just the simplest pattern. In fact, it would be really cute, let me grab this to do one of these. This is the stitch. To do one of these hats with with the baby blanket that matches that same stitch. That would be a really cute little gift set. I bet I could work up some baby booties made out of this stitch too. I never thought about that. I'll have to try that. So, okay, I'm gonna do another row, I think. The other video that's on the list, I had a viewer want me to do the hat that I have got on my picture, on my photo. So we will be doing that as well. That's a really fun hat to make. Really, it's super cute, and you can make it just like a straight kind of sort of a beanie style, or you can also make it a slouchy hat depending on your mood and what your customer wants or what you want to sell. And it is also done with this stitch. I use that stitch for so much. It makes really pretty scarves. It's just my go-to stitch. And alright, maybe I will stop at this row. Okay, I'm going to stop at this row. So now what I need to do is I need to go because this is where you can see where we started crawling up right here. So right here is where I started going up. This was our original row, and I started going up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need to stop right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I need to do 5 more butterfly stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Whoops, I'm going to keep going to double crochet. So if you're confused about that, every diagonal line needs the same amount of stitches. So if I were to keep going, this row right here would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and these would have 11, or yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These would have 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I count that, I must have counted that wrong. Anyway, you just want your beginning where you started crawling up and the row next to it to be the same amount of stitches. And I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows. So mine ended up being 10 rows. So now what you want to do, I know, shut up Corinne, and let's finish the hat. So what you want to do now is now for every butterfly stitch, we're going to do a single crochet and chain 1 and go to the next space. Single crochet, chain 1, go to the next space, single crochet, chain 1, and then just keep doing that all the way around. Single crochet, chain 1, all the way around. This will go really quick, these rows here. And we are going to continue working in a circular pattern. We're not gonna join anywhere. And this is kind of starting to close the hole in the top. It'll close up very, very fast. So we don't have very many rows to go in order for it to close up. Alright, we are at the beginning now where we started. So now what we want to do, in each of the chain 1 spaces, which is between the 2 single crochets, we just want to single crochet all the way around in those chain 1 spaces in between the single crochets. And you'll see that it's starting to, that hole on the top is starting to collapse very fast. And when I do this, I like to tug on the yarn a little bit. If you crochet with your finger up like this, just kind of give it a little tug and snug it up so that to where that hole collapses a little bit faster. Put a little tension, however you do your tension, give it a little tension on there to where it, you know, snugs it up a little bit. You don't want big gaps at this point. And when we get all the way around and we've done in between our single crochets in the chain 1 spaces, then we're going to do every other single crochet. Alright, we are at the end. So now we're going to skip the next one, and now we're just going to work in the space we're going to work in our single crochet spaces. So I did that one, skip the next one, single crochet, skip the next one, single crochet, skip, single crochet, skip, single crochet, skip. See, that hole is really starting to collapse really fast now. Skip. Skip the next step or stitch. And I do this until I get to the very, very last place I can go. And then I just skip that one, onto that one, skip that one, go into that one, skip that one, go into this one. Okay, I've gotten to the point where now I just have to do one more, but I'm not going to do one more single crochet. I'm just going to go directly across from the stitch that I'm in now and slip stitch into the top there. I give a little tug, chain one, cut off your yarn, and then I pull it through to the inside. Like so. And there you have your little hat for a little cute little baby head. And you can see it's really stretchy, but it's not too stretchy to where it's going to end up being sloppy. It'll really fit to their little newborn little heads. I mean, chances are they're not going to be wearing it very long, but still it's going to be adorable while they are, because babies grow so fast. Alright, I am going to weave in my ends, and usually what I do is I like using my little shuttle, and I do back and forth lock kind of a stitch. I will find a row of stitches and what I like to do is I do it kind of in a row. I pick up one stitch when I get to the end of one. I pick up one stitch, run it through, and then I go back the same way I came. I just kind of run it all the way along that line that I just did. Whoops, just pulled out my yarn. And I'm going to do this 3 or 4 times. What that does is it just locks it in, and it will not pull out. Same with on the other end. I will just grab any stitch around the end, kind of pull it. I don't go back through the stitch that I just picked up. I go back through that line where I was at, like so. And then I pick up a stitch, and then I go back through. I just do it like 3 or 4 times, and it gets harder to push through because I'm pushing through that kind of that lump of stitches, and then I tie that off, or yeah, cut that off. Alright, there's that one, and I'm going to do the same with these and this one. I'll show you again. Alright, what I do is I just kind of weave till I find a row of stitches. I'm going to go I'm kind of do this row right here. Alright, and then I pick up that end stitch right there, and then I go back through my row like so, and I'm going to pick up that stitch right there and go back up that row. Give it a nice little tug. Cut off my tail. Alright, that won't come out. Alright, now we'll do this again. See? Alright, I'm just going to run it along this horizontal row right here. I do about an inch is all I do. Some patterns you can't do this with, but this one you can. Alright, I'm going to pick up just one stitch, kind of a locking stitch, and then go back through. Alright, pick up a stitch on this end, like so. Don't go back under that same stitch, you want to go over the top of it, and then just go back through. 3 or 4 times, doesn't matter. Alright, one more. I love these shuttles, they're so nice. Alright, now I'm going to go to the other side because I already put one on that one side, so I'm going to come up over here. Find me in here. Looks like here's a nice little row. Over here. So I'm just going to go up like so. Grab a stitch. Go back down. Grab a stitch, go back up, like so. Easy peasy. Alright, so now we're going to make the flower for the hat. I like to do both of the same colors, the brim and the color, and then find a complementary button. So I'll get set up and we will do the flower. Okay, we're going to do the base of the flower first. Now for those of you who don't know how to do the magic circle, I am going to do it very, very quickly. All you do, it's just like you're making a slip stitch or slip knot. You wrap around, poke it through just like you're going to make a slip knot, except you don't tighten the bottom of the slip knot. You just put your hook in there and start crocheting. You just don't make it tight. Okay, so we're making the big part of the flower right there. So we're going to chain 3, and now we're just going to double crochet in that loop. Now let me do that magic circle again. Alright, the end goes in this hand. It's just like you're making a slip knot. Okay, slip knot, we're making a slip knot, except we're going to put our hook in, and a slip knot, you would tighten, you would pull this and tighten that up. You're not going to do that. You're going to be crocheting around that part. So you just grab your end, make a slip stitch, kind of lock it in there, and you're just going to work right in that circle. Okay? Again, we'll do that one more time. End goes in your hand like that. You're going to make a slip knot, but not all the way. Like that. And then do a slip stitch in that, and then you can continue on inside of that circle like that. Alright, now if for some reason you can't quite get that, you can just chain 4, make a little circle, and do the same thing, or however you can do this. You know, however you're able to do this. This is just easiest for me to do it this way. So now what we're going to do, we count that first chain, we're going to chain 3 and then count that first chain 3 as our first double crochet. And then you want to do another 11 double crochets in the center. So there's 1 double crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So we should have 12, including the triple, or the chain 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now put your little end, and then you just pull it. Just pull it, and it tightens up that hole. And you want to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 right there. Okay, and form a loop. Now we're going to do the petal. So you want to chain 3, and in the space that's right next to where you just chained 3, we're going to do 3 double crochet in that same space. There's 2 and 3. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch right in that hole. Okay, and that's our first petal. That's the first petal. I know that's kind of bright. It's pitch dark here now, so the lighting is kind of freaking out. Okay, now we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip that next double crochet space and go into, we're going to slip stitch into the next one. So slip stitch right into that next one, chain 3, and then 3 double crochet right in that same space. 1, 2, 3. Okay, chain 3, and then slip stitch right into that same space. All right, chain 1, skip the next double crochet space, slip stitch into the following, and chain 3. And we're going to do this all the way around our circle. Now we're in 3 double crochet, and now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into that same space, chain 1, skip, slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochet, chain 3, slip stitch in the same, chain 1, skip, slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochet, chain 3, slip stitch, chain 1, skip, slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochet, chain 3, slip stitch, and then chain 1. And then what I like to do is I just like to secure it at the base of that first chain 3 that we did. I just kind of put it in there, and I do a slip stitch. So you just put your hook in at the base of that chain 3 and do a slip stitch. All right. And then what I like to do here is I like to leave a long tail. This is what I'm going to use to attach the flower to the hat. So I like to leave a long tail as my sewing tail. So I usually leave about a foot or so. 12 to 15 inches, I would say. I know there's always extra, but I like to have extra, so I don't worry too much about wasting 3 inches of yarn. Okay. So there we've made the base of our flower, like so. Okay? Now we're going to do the center. And the same thing, we're going to do a magic ring. Get rid of this stuff so you can see. We're going to do the magic circle. Start out by doing like a slip knot, but not a slip knot. Put your hook in there and chain one. All right, inside of the circle, we're just going to do 3 double crochet now, and now we're going to do 2 double crochet in the circle. All right, there's 1 and 2, and now we're going to chain 3, maybe 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to slip stitch right into the circle. Now we've made our first petal. All right, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, do 2 double crochet. Now again, if you don't if you want to just make a ring however you make a ring and do this, that is totally and completely fine, because I know that magic circle really gets to some people, and the truth is it took me a while to get it too, but then when I realized it was just the start of a slip stitch, it made it just easy for me once I realized that it's just a slip stitch that's not completed. And it was like, oh, okay, well, I get that I understand. I don't know which side of my brain, but that I understood. All right, we're going to do this same petal pattern 6 times all the way around this circle. Chain 3, 2 double crochet, chain 3, slip stitch. Okay? Chain 3, two double crochet, chain 3, slip stitch into the center. Where do I have? I have 4, so I need to do this 2 more times. Chain 3, 2 double crochet, chain 3, slip stitch into the center, chain 3, 2 double crochet, maybe, chain 3, and slip stitch into the center. Alright, and now from here I'm going to just pull and snug up the center of my ring like so. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm also going to leave probably a 6-inch tail here for 2 reasons: to hook on the button and to attach this to my white one, so probably another 12 inches or so. Alright, now what I like to do to secure the magic circle is I just tie my two ends together in the back, and that keeps the magic circle from unmagicking, uncircling, unmagicking. So there you have a cute little flower. Isn't that adorbsies? Cray cray adorbs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this long tail piece off. Yep, just like that. Okay, and now I'm going to, oh, I need to go find a button. I'm going to stop the camera. I forgot to bring a button over, so I'm going to stop the camera and go find a button real quick because we're going to attach the button right now. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have decided on this fun little sparkly little button here. So I'm going to thread my needle. Hopefully this will fit through there. Yep, okay. So I'm going to thread my needle, and I'm going to attach my button to this top petal here. Push from the back. I don't go right through the center. I go off to the side a little bit, because if you push it through the center, it won't really, well, I guess you could on this. You can go through the center. Put your button on. And then go back down to the back. And I do this a couple of times just to secure the button. Like so. Alright, and then just snug that up. Like so. Alright, I've got my shiny little button in the center. And now I place this little one over the big one, like so. And what I do is I just pick up a stitch on the white flower, pick up a couple stitches on the center back. I don't do on the edge, I do the center back of the next petal, and then pick up another stitch on the back one, like so. Okay? Pick up a stitch. I do this for each petal. Pick up a stitch, couple stitches on the back of the top flower, and then a stitch on the bottom flower. Okay. Do the next petal. Pick up a stitch on the bottom flower, couple stitches back behind the top flower, and then back down to the bottom flower. And I do that all the way around. These don't take very long to put together. Okay. One more petal here. And then I just poke it through the back, like so. Snug it up a little bit. And then what I do is I just tie these two ends, the short ends, together to finish that up. Okay, give it a nice little tug, and then I cut those off, cut the ends off, like so. Okay, whoops, and there's our flower. Now what I like to do is I like to position the flower kind of over where we started, kind of where our little, there's going to be like a little up space right there. So I like to kind of position my flower to kind of just cover that area up a little bit. All right, and again, thread your needle, and we're going to do the same exact thing. I'm putting the petal right over our little bump area there to kind of cover that up. And then I'm going to start with this petal, pick up a stitch, I'm going to pick up, since this is bigger, since the petal is a little bit bigger, I'm going to pick up a stitch, just one, pick up another stitch on the hat, and pick up another stitch on the petal, and then another stitch on the hat, and kind of do a zigzag all the way around to secure it. Alright, so I just picked up the, so now I'm going to do the next petal. Pick up a stitch on the hat, one stitch on the petal, one stitch on the hat, one stitch on the petal, and one stitch on the hat. Okay, so that secures that petal. And we're going to keep doing this all the way around. One stitch on the hat, one stitch on the petal, one stitch on the hat, one stitch on the petal, and one stitch on the hat. Okay, next one stitch on the hat, one stitch on the petal, one stitch on the hat, one stitch on the petal, one stitch on the hat. Okay, and then I poke it through to the back, like so. Give it a little tug love. All right, now we're going to flip this inside out. And then what I like to do is where the opening is right there, I just like to make a little knot just to secure it. Just I do a little secure knot like that, and then I just run the tail underneath the pink or whatever color you're doing, and I do that back and forth probably 3 or 4 times just underneath the flower, like so, just to kind of secure that. And you can finish this off any way you like. This is just happens to be the way that I do it because it's nice and there's lots of yarn in there for this tail to get stuck in there. Alright, and then I just cut that off, and there you have your cute little newborn baby hat. Isn't it adorable? You did it! These make a lot of money. I sell these for about $12, $12 to $15, depending on what the flower looks like and what the hat looks like. But usually about $12 is what I sell these for. And you can work these up, really fast. I'll do a couple of different versions of these in other videos, and yeah, make these. Make some money. Go make your money. Give them away, give them as gifts, donate them to the hospital, whatever you want to do. They're very easy to make. These ones are easy as well, and so I will be making these because these ones are also very easy. So, thank you for watching my video. I appreciate your support, and your comments are so sweet. You guys are all so nice, so talented. You show me, I love seeing what you make, so make sure and post your version of this pattern. And please email me with any comments, or leave me any comments below, or questions, or anything you need me to clarify, suggestions for videos, gentle criticisms, anything like that. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.